About a Tulsa area guy, Luke Haas. I want to ask you about, I know the body of work's only 5 games, but how much has he really impacted the Arkansas program? And a secondary question, just the Northeast Oklahoma area, how fertile recruiting area can that be for the Arkansas program?
Did you ask about Luke Haas?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, wish he wouldn't have got hurt. He's doing great. Obviously, his brother's on the team as well. Great kids, great family. Big win for us, Me being from Grove means something to me if we can get some Oklahoma kids. Certainly, Oklahoma's doing a good job of recruiting Arkansas kids. So, but that Tulsa area is so close to us, it's close, hour and 45 minutes probably, that we'd love to get a few more guys out of there.
Front row on the left.
Hey, Coach. AP Stedham, AP and Kelly, as I say, it's syndicated radio. Coach, you gave me a great quote about the TP and the NIL last year. I'll never forget. But I wanted to ask you about your close games last year. Are they correctable? And then what led you to, what drew you to the Boise State quarterback to have him come to Arkansas?
Yeah, they're correctable. Got to do a little bit better job coaching. We've got to be a little more aggressive defensively in those times. We've got to be a little more aggressive offensively in those times. But yes, I think we went 9-4 and we won most of those games, and then this year 4-8, and you lose 5 of them. It's close, and you're at Alabama, and you're at LSU, and you're losing by 3, and yes, it's correctable. Taylor Green, Bobby and I looked about 5 quarterbacks, and Bobby was the first offer of Taylor Green out of high school at Missouri State, and we knew he wanted, there's a possibility he wanted to come back to Texas or come back home, and so sat down there and said, "That's the one I want. What you think, Bobby? That's the one I want." I said, "Okay, let's go get him. Whoever you decide, but we're on the same page here." And then Bobby went out and got him. And man, he's a leadingist, culture, hard-working. He's something special in that. And obviously, if you saw the spring game, he can throw, and we haven't seen how he can run yet, but he can.
Front row on the right.
Hey, Sam. Jenny Carlson with Beyond the Box Score in Oklahoma City. You've talked before about growing up a Sooner fan. I'm wondering if you can rewind a little bit on your memories of growing up watching the Sooners as a kid in Grove, and then just what it's like for you to have that history as a fan and now see them in the SEC, just how that wraps in your brain.
I went to Oklahoma football camp, too. They didn't know I was there, but I was. Red team, white team, aqua velvet team. That was me. We didn't even have a coach. I was coaching the team. I'm not bragging on myself, but we were Sooner fans. And I moved out to Grove my junior year in high school and went to Arkansas camp. Same treatment, by the way. And but I fell in love with the Hogs. I did. And they were really good. They just beaten Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl. And really good. And they recruited me a little. Oklahoma was 0, and they talked to me or whatever. And so I think that's why I liked them a little bit more. And then to see them, when I was 35 years old, I was hired as offensive line coach at the University of Oklahoma, and it was one of the biggest thrills of my life. I'm the O-line coach at Oklahoma. When there's thrills in your life is when there's thrills for your parents that something happened as well, correct? And that was one of those moments, for my mom and dad as well as my brother and my 3 sisters. But have high respect for Oklahoma. We don't play them for 3 seasons. But OU's OU, and I have a lot of respect for that program.
Left side, front row, and then pass it to your right.
Okay, Dennis Dodd, CBS Sports Sam. First of all, how's remodeling going in Hot Springs? And second of all, what does it say about your lack of ego that you would hire Bobby, now a beloved former Arkansas coach? I know you guys have a relationship, but yeah.
I owe winning to the state of Arkansas more than what my feelings or how this will affect me. First of all, if you have an ego, all you do is think about yourself. If you don't, you think about others. I can't stand people that have high egos. But I thought Bobby would be the way that we could win games, and that was the number one decision. And it was for the kids and for the state of Arkansas. And so that part of it was easy. We got a new pool house, and I got some floors done, and it looks bad to the bone, baby.
Second row in the aisle.
Chris Hummer, 24/7 Sports. Just 2 years ago at this event, you're coming off a 9-4 season, and we're one of the most popular coaches in the country. Now,
Well, I'm popular now, just the wrong way.
Well, I was going to say, fair or not.
I'm hot.
I was wondering, fair or not, like you are popping up on those lists. How do you think about the way
I'm
narrative?
like start of the list.
How do you think about the way narratives can shift in this sport in such a short amount of
Yeah,
time?
isn't it crazy? 2 years ago, I was a keynote speaker at AFCA and was one of the top 6 guys for the Coach of the Year award. Isn't it crazy? So I want to be that guy and not this one that was out there last year. I think we can be. Listen, what's fair is fair. I mean, if you're going to get patted on the back, you're going to get punched in the gut. And what's fair is fair. And to be honest with you, the only one that can really control the hot seat is me and what we do with our football team. And it's never been about me, so I'm really not concerned about it. I'm concerned about the state, the players, and our staff. And we got a good football team. Thanks for the question, though.
On the in front row.
Hey, Coach. Jacques Doucet, WAFB in Baton Rouge. You talked about the need to finish the close games. The LSU game has been a field goal game every year. Seems
4
like.
years, 3 points.
Yeah, and the last 2 didn't go your way. So can you just talk about that series? And
Yeah, I think you go back and you look at it with your staff and you go, okay, at this point, well, I know we don't want to give up a big one. We're dying a slow death. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's attack. Let's do whatever that may be. Or, hey, look, man, let's play action on first down. Let's see if we can't get a chunk here instead of grinding it out. I have been probably the biggest negative about it is me because I'm wanting to score with no time left on the clock. You know what I mean? I'm wanting to take it down and do all this stuff. I think it's more important to get the lead than it is to, or tie the game than it is to how much time is left on the clock. So we've changed a little bit about that. LSU and us is a rivalry, so it's going to be, I think, probably more for us than it is for them. But it has been a 3-point game. Unfortunately, we've only won one of those 4 meetings since I've been the head coach. But we're looking forward to playing them. I believe it's a night game this year as well. But high respect for the program. But I believe it'll be another close game. We got to figure out how to win it.
Left side, third row.
Tyler Shaw with KBTX and College Station. Coach, another game that's been close in recent past has been A&M. Have you enjoyed that being that kind of neutral site game?
No.
Are you looking forward to moving it to the campuses?
I don't want to play there. I don't. And A&M, obviously, let's say what it is. It is what it is, okay? So we've been playing down there, and how many have we won? How many have they won? What have we won? 2? And they've won. Out of the last 10, we've won 1, right? And so why would you want to keep going on a neutral site? Wouldn't you want them in bring them home into our stadium, so, it's like when I was at Georgia, we were playing Georgia, Florida. And Jacksonville, well, we were winning. Well, why would we want to go play in the swamp, So, I think this is the last year of it, correct? And A&M got a really good team. We've had some really good games down there. Unfortunately, with them too, we've won one, lost three. So we'll see what happens this year.
On the aisle, on the right.
Coach Pittman, Corey LeBounty, WNSP 105.5 in Mobile, Alabama. Entering your 5th season, you've had some ups and downs, but as far as consistency is concerned, what do you feel you and your staff have to do to maintain that consistency in order for us media members to get more clips of "I like a cold beer" afterwards?
Man, I'm trying to get my mind off that cold beer, We got to do a better job of recruiting. And with that comes a whole lot of NIL, comes a whole lot of collective. There's a lot of conversation there. We got to do a better job of handling the offensive line. And that's my baby, and I've let it down. We have everything there is for us to have success. And so I like this team. I think we're going to have a lot of old cold beer talks. But we've got to do a better job of recruiting. I do think we coach well. I think we communicate with our kids well. But we've got to do a better job of that, and then I've got to make better decisions on some of this 4th and 1 and things of that nature. I think that'll help us if I do.
Left side, back row.
Dan Peck, ESPN 106.7 in Auburn. Coach, 2 years ago, you win at Jordan-Hare Stadium. That's Brian Harson's last game as Auburn head coach. A year later, Auburn goes up to Fayetteville, returns the favor with a big win there. You go to Auburn first conference game this year.
Right.
How important is that one? How pivotal is that to set the tone for the season?
I think it's going to be big. I think every game, you know how that is. I think every game's big. Going to Auburn, especially, we didn't play well. They played extremely well. We laid an egg. We got a butt kick after we went to Florida, and won. But they were much better. They had a good team that day. It was a phenomenal team. So I think there's a lot of importance to everybody to open that SEC opener up with a win, and certainly that's going to be a big game. And it's hard to play in Jordan-Hare. I mean, it's hard to play up there.
Wish we had more time. We have one final question on the right, 4th row.
Yeah, Coach, Evan Camico, Pig Trail Nation. Walking around this morning and seeing Texas and Oklahoma and all of the logos up, is it surreal? Has it set in that they're officially a part of the SEC?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've been talking about it for a while. And so, I'm excited they're coming in. I mean, it's not going to be any more difficult on us. I mean, we've been in the West we've been playing everybody in America, every year. And then, so this format has allowed us to play different people, play some guys on the East that we haven't played. This will be my 5th year, and then it'll be 6th year. So it'll be 7 years before we would have played Kentucky or Vanderbilt. And we, played Georgia a couple times, Florida a couple times. But my point being is that you shouldn't go 7 years and not play somebody in your conference. And we haven't played Vandy or Coach Stoops' wonderful team there at Kentucky. We haven't played them. It would have been 7 years. So I like the new format. Obviously, you're going to play Oklahoma and Texas, and they got good teams, but I like the new format. But I don't know about all that. Thank you, Mr. Sankey. Appreciate it. What a wonderful job he does for us. We are prepared. Never is there a moment where we're going, we find out something from the media, from a different conference. And we are very, very lucky, very fortunate to have Mr. Sankey as our leader. I want to tell a story about Monty Kiffin. And he was the defensive coordinator at Arkansas in 1977, 78, and 79. Lou Holtz was the head coach in those 3 years. With his expertise of coaching defense, the Razorbacks finished 3, 11, and 8 in the national polls when Coach Kiffin was the defensive coordinator. 1978, the Grove Ridge Runners played the Miami War Dogs. Coach Kiffin came over to the game. Now, I always knew I wanted to be a coach. And Coach Kiffin came over to the game, and he was there to see Todd Berry. Todd Berry was the #1 ranked quarterback in the state of Oklahoma. He was not there to see any of the Grove Ridge Runners. We lost the game late, 21-16, and Charlie Cooper, our head football coach there at Grove, Coach Kiffin came in and asked could he talk to the team. And he came in and he said some unbelievable things about our toughness and our fight and our grit. And I remember, you know, the impact that his speech that it made on me. And I thought, you know, as I become a coach, how we can change lives and how we can be meaningful to young athletes, young people, by the way that Coach Kiffin talked to us that day. I'll never forget that as long as I live. The other thing I want to say is about Coach Saban. When Coach Saban had interest in me, it changed Jamie and I's life. It changed our life financially. It changed our life in myself having confidence in my ability. And then whenever I went to the head coaches meeting, it goes in alphabetical order, and I sat right next to Coach Saban, and I'm not saying he took me under his wing, but I was nervous sitting next to him. I'm sure I asked him more questions than what he might wanted to answer, but he answered every one of them. And I think there's a reason why I went and worked for Kirby at Georgia. I think it had a lot to do with Coach Saban. Derek Dooley started that at Tennessee. But Coach Saban's the GOAT, and he is someone that our league is going to miss dearly, and I just wanted to talk about that. I want to thank Hunter Yurachek. You know, we work with a great group of people at Arkansas. And, you know, Mike and Bucky and Dave and Cal and Shauna and Jordan and Courtney. There's wonderful people to work with. Chris Johnson just won the national championship in women's track. And just a great group of people. And it's really about what the state of Arkansas is all about. And we brought Taylon Green, Andrew Armstrong, and Landon Jackson here. All 3 of those guys have Texas ties. Taylon Green, obviously, is our quarterback, transferred in January. Bobby Petrino went out and handpicked him. He's perfect for what Coach Petrino wants to do for our offense. And he's got great leadership skills. He's a wonderful athlete, and I'm excited for you guys to meet him today. Andrew Armstrong is also from Bishop Dunn here in Dallas, a wide receiver. He was our top production wide receiver last year. He's excited to be back in Dallas. You'll enjoy him as well. Landon Jackson led our team in sacks, led our team in tackles for losses last year. He was also a captain for us last year. He's right here from Pleasant Grove High School in East Texas, and we're happy to have those 3 with us. They, along with a lot of guys, are developing a culture, along with Ben Souders and the Streak staff, that is like no other. I'm so excited about this football team, and I'm excited about the talent level, but I'm also excited about the culture, about the way these guys treat each other, the way they talk to each other, the way they go out with each other, the way they compete against each other. Over the past 4 years, we've been invited to 3 bowl games. 2 of the last 3 years, at some point in the season, we've been ranked in the top 10. And I love this team. I love our coaches. Our expectations are as high as they've ever been for this season coming up. If we can take 4-20 to 9-4, we can deal with 4-8 too, and that's what we're going to do. I'm very excited about the Arkansas Razorbacks. Coaching staff, we have a new coordinator, Bobby Petrino. You guys are very familiar. If you're familiar with football, you're familiar with Bobby Petrino. Did a wonderful job at the University of Arkansas and other places. Been a head coach in the National Football League as well. Bobby's been a great resource for me. Not only I think he's a wonderful offensive coordinator, he also was a very successful head coach. And so there's a lot of times where I'm able to run things by him, and we decide collectively at times what's best for the University of Arkansas football team. Ronnie Fouch, our new wide receiver coach, come in from Missouri State, has done a wonderful job. Kobe Smith was with the Miami Dolphins. He's our new running back coach. And Eric Mateus is our new offensive line coach. Eric Mateus has done a wonderful job with our offensive line, and very excited about that group. Special teams wise, we return our 2 snappers in Stein and No. We have a kicker battle going on between Shipley, Ramsey, and Vito. Our punter will be Devin Bell, returning from last year. Sategna, we're very excited about him as a returner. On offense, we have a lot to improve on. We think we addressed that in the portal with 4 offensive linemen and 3 portal running backs. Obviously went out and got a quarterback as well. Our wide receiver group is returning. But I think the most improved part of our football team this spring was our offensive line. I'm excited about that group. Defensively, we were much improved a year ago. Fewest yards allowed since 2010, best pass defense since 2014, and led the nation in defensive touchdowns with 5. We have to finish the season. We did not do that well. We've got to figure out how to win the close games, and we lost 5 games by a touchdown or less. We've got to figure that out. We feel like we're well on our way to getting that accomplished. I like the new schedule format. I think we're going to be able to see every team in our stadium over a 4-year span, and we'll be able to go to every team stadium in the SEC. This year, home with Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, and Texas, and away with Auburn, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, and Missouri. We play 7 preseason top 25 teams. That's how it is in the SEC. They also have to play the Arkansas Razorbacks. We're excited about our non-conference opponents this year. We go to Oklahoma State week 2. I really like that game. It's 3 hours away. They have a great program, great coach. Excited about going over there to Oklahoma State. 13 returning starters, 5 on offense, 6 on defense, and 2 on special teams. We added 17 high school scholarships addition and 22 through the portal that were scholarship players. 2024 season's a fresh start. We've been working tirelessly to address the areas we need improvement. Our players have shown remarkable resilience and commitment this offseason. We know our fans deserve a team that competes at the highest level. We're committed to making that happen. The support from our Razorback community has not wavered. It fuels our drive to turn things around. Our focus is to embrace the hog, which means we need to be tough, we need to be together, we need to be consistent, accountable, and do it with pride. I think we've accomplished that this summer. We've accomplished that through the spring ball. Every setback's an opportunity for a comeback. We've embraced that mindset. I believe in our players and our staff and our state and our direction that we're heading in. And we're going to rise to the challenge for a great 2024 season. With that, I'll take questions.
Thank you, Coach Pittman. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone to you. Daniel, Nolan, or KD. And please state your name and affiliation. So we'll come all the way up here to the front. Start here on the second row right here on the aisle. Trey.
Hey, Coach. Trey Biddy, Hog Sports, 24/7 Sports. I know you guys look day to day into that first game, but I am curious. You've seen the schedule. What do you think about playing your first 5 games in 5 different venues? I don't know if any other team in the country is doing that. And just what do you think about that challenge? And have you given it much thought?
Well, yes, we've obviously talked about the schedule. The deal with that, Trey, is as long as we are involved in the game in Dallas and we're involved in the game in Little Rock, we're going to have home games. This one in Dallas is an away game, but we're going to have home games that are away from our university. And I can remember, I think we had a stretch in there where we had, maybe it's 2 years ago, where we had 3 home games on the schedule, but we played in Razorback Stadium 1 of those, 5 games. That over the three of the 5 were home. All I can say is we're going to try to embrace that. Last year we had the away games right there in a row. What was it, at Alabama, at LSU, on the road. We need to do a better job than what we did a year ago. The difference is a little bit too, Trey, is the time. There'll be at 11 o'clock, there'll be at noon, there'll be a night game. So we'll certainly have to get ready for that. I do know that our first 2 games are going to be at night and then in the morning, and then our third game is going to be in the afternoon. So we'll have covered all those. So then the 4th and 5th time we go to a new venue, at least we should have been able to cover the time frame of the game and the schedule that wise with the kids.
Coach, we're going to go straight right in front to the right near aisle.
Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Cody Clearman on Texas football. Last time Texas played Arkansas, it was not a good outcome for Texas. They come back to Fayetteville this fall, and coming into the SEC adds a new layer of the rivalry. Steve Sarkisian was quoted saying, Arkansas hates Texas more than they like themselves. I just want to know what your response to that statement is.
Well, I will say this. We hadn't played Texas for years, and when we played them a couple of years back, it was the most excited our fan base has been in a while. So I would say he's probably right. The difference is Texas is certainly a different team than what we played. That was his first year there, and now, obviously he's a great coach, great guy, and got a wonderful football team. But I'm glad that we're going to play them at home again. I don't know if that's fair because they came there 2 years ago, but it's an early morning game. But he's probably correct. You'd have to ask the old hats of Arkansas, but he's probably right.
Coach, we'll go straight in front of me, my table. Barry?
Yeah, Barry Trammell, Tulsa World.
Hey, Barry.
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Sam, we've got a 12-team playoff now. A lot more access to what people would consider a successful season. What does that do for a program like Arkansas?
Well, I think it gives you life. I do. We're all striving to get in the playoffs, including the University of Arkansas. And when you lose a game and it's a 4-team, you got a problem. Georgia last year, one of the best teams in the country, didn't get in the playoffs, lost 1 game. And so this is going to give, I think you're going to see better football towards the end of the year because you're going to see some two-win teams get into the college playoffs, or two-loss teams get into college playoffs. And I just think it's going to continue to keep your team alive as you move forward. I think you're going to see better bowl games out of it, better teams in bowls. I think this 12 teams is going to make a big, significant difference in college football.
Coach, we'll go to the section and over to our right in the middle.
Coach. Emily Grace McWhorter from the next round. Last season, we saw flashes of just how good your Arkansas team can be. This season, how do you maximize on that potential?
Well, that's a great question. I think ours is all about consistency and finishing. Again, we lost 5 one-score games, but I think you're going to say that next year. You're going to say you either won them or, you know what I mean? You're not going to beat somebody by 21. It's hard in this league. So I think it's going to be consistency, better game planning. We've got to be able to run the football. But I think we can capitalize on that. I really like this team. I really do. And I'm not trying to win media days. You guys know me. I'm just going to tell you how I feel. And I really like this team. And I think with the culture and the tightness of the team, I think you can win those games a little bit easier than if it's the other way.
Which will stay the center aisle right along the near aisle.
Coach Pittman, Drew DeArmond, WZZN Radio, Huntsville, Alabama. When you were hired by Arkansas, you were considered the best offensive line coach in college football. After you self-scouted and hired Eric Mateos, did you put a finger on what caused the struggles along the offensive line last year, and how did you guys game plan to attack the portal and improve that area of the football team?
Yeah, fair, very fair. Talent-wise, we had to do better recruiting, and you talked about my O-line background. Well, we've got to get better there. We wanted to attack. We had to go out and get 2 tackles. We have a player in Kudus that I really like. He lost his confidence out there. He was the best we had, but he lost his confidence out there. We move him inside. He's a heck of a player. He's one of the strongest guys on the team. Junior Carmona, Blackstock, and Nichols, those 3 guys, they're a little bit like Taylor Green in that his leadership is incredible, but they are too. And when you have guys that don't just want to play on the O-line, but they want to lead, and they want to say, hey, look, bro, we got to go. We got to go. We got to go. We got to go. We got to do this. We extra here. When you have those guys in there, which we have, leading like that, I think that you can get a lot better. Eric Mateos is different because he doesn't only, hey, you need to talk to him. You need to talk to him. It's not necessarily about the play that he messed up. It's about, hey, what's going on at home? There's different roots to the problem. It may not be just between the ears. It may be life. It may be home. It may be girlfriend. And that's why I found Eric is just great at that, because the kids know he loves them and he thinks about them and he cares about them, and therefore they're going to play harder. I hope that was a trait that I had when I coached offensive line. I don't know if I did or not, but I hope that I had the trait that Eric has, because he can make kids play harder and better by the way that he talks to them and the way he treats them.
Coach, we'll go in this section in front of me, midway back. Kirk.
Hey, Coach. Steve Moulton, WZZN out of Huntsville, Alabama. Hope you're doing well.
Doing great.
I believe I heard you right when you said 17 high school players in this recruiting class. Yes. But also 22 out of the portal. So I was wondering the just evaluation of the portal and who you consult with to just. It feels like that was I wasn't expecting a larger number out of the portal rather than high school.
Sometimes what ends up happening is you're going high school. So our goal every year is try to get to 20. Okay, we did not, but we want to try to get to 20 out of high school. The next thing you do is go, okay, how many scholarships do I have? I need 3 O linemen. I need 2 D linemen. And our guys at Arkansas ask me that all the time. They ask me, okay, where are you going to go? There's the next number. And then what you hope you get is a trade for a trade. In other words, you hope that if it's April and you get to, you'd be fine if you don't need anybody else. You'd be fine. Somebody goes in the portal, you trade that position for that position. That's what happened this year. That's where the 8 came in at the 7 at the end, which made that number somewhat larger.
And we'll stay in that same section, about 4 rows.
Hey, Sam. Kirk Bowles from the Houston Chronicle.
Kirk.
We'll talk to you about the college football playoff a minute. 17 games for the 2 final teams. Yeah. Do you think conferences should get rid of the championship games to take one game off the schedule? And also, would you like to see the teams that host games adopt the NFL model and just keep hosting until the final championship game?
Well, I'd like to get to the damn SEC championship game. Is what I'd like to do. I'll say this. The game has hurt the league in the past. I don't think it, and I don't know if that's fair. I don't know if Mr. Sankey would agree with me, but, I remember when I was at Georgia, it hurt us. And then obviously this last year, it hurt Georgia. It's not going to now, obviously. Will there be some communication about that? Probably. But don't you want to see who the conference championship, who's the winner, I'd hate to see that game go. I know 17 is a long season, but I do think this. I think whoever's the top seed has an opportunity to host. I think that would be, they've earned it throughout the year. I think that would be the best way to do that.
Coach, we'll go in the center section.
Until you get to the bowl situation, and then we cannot cut any of the bowls out. None. Those are a way to get better and get your younger kids practicing. So, and I'm talking about, I don't mean Orange, Rose, and all that. I mean Liberty, Mayo. We need to continue to keep those.
Okay, we'll go straight down the middle aisle.
Sam, Carter Yates with Dave Campbell's Texas Football. You brought 3 guys who played Texas high school football here today. There are now 2 universities from Texas in your conference. How is that going to affect recruiting for y'all?
Well, we try to put a 6-hour radius around Fayetteville, and so obviously Dallas is in that radius, and of course we jump on down to Houston a little bit, about 8. But Texas, there's so many kids down here that can play. If you look at our state, we just don't have a populated state. So, we may have anywhere from 6 to 8 kids that can play football in the SEC, at least in our opinion. That doesn't make us right, but at least in our opinion. And you may, you come into Dallas and you'll get, what do you think, 50? Probably SEC players at least just in this area. So the more we can get on the team, obviously, the more familiar, the more stories we can have, the better off we'll be and the better we can do here, Dallas East.
Okay, we'll go right up front here in front of me, Tom.
Hey, Sam, Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat.
Yeah, Tom.
You added Bobby Petrino to your staff, already had a big name in Arkansas. I'm wondering how your mesh with him might be better than what it was last year at Texas A&M.
Man, that's hard to say because I'm not positive what happened over at A&M. Here's what I know. I hire people. I give my opinion, but he's the offensive coordinator. Travis is the defensive coordinator, and that's his responsibility. Eric Matei is the O-line coach. Now, I'm the oldest GA in the country. I'm helping him. I would want to work for me. I would want to work with me if I was an offensive coordinator, because I'm going to let you go get them. Now, I've got my ideas, and I'm going to come in. I'm going to have my tape up there, and I'm going to go, okay, I see this, I see this, I see this. But I would think if you asked Bobby and Travis and Scott Fountain, they'd say, he gives me the freedom to run what I think is the best. And I don't know about A&M. I don't know that. I just know that we've given him the freedom to go score points.
Time for a couple more. We'll start in the section in front of me near the back.
Hey, Sam. Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South. Speaking of Bobby, for those of us that don't get to see you on a daily basis and see your interactions with him, what's it been like having Bobby back in Fayetteville?
It's been great. I mean, he's passionate about that. He loves the Hogs. He likes to win. He likes to score points, so it's been great. Again, I mentioned it before. I had Barry before that I could bump some head coaching questions off of. As I get older, the questions aren't as many, but or as I get more years of being a head coach. But it's like a security blanket. I got Bobby there. I had Barry there. I have Bobby there that I can run off things. And both those guys are not, hey, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. I'll ask them a question, and I want their opinion, and they know it. And we'll agree on it or we won't, but we're both grown men, and if we do, we do. If we don't, we don't. We'll move on down the road. But that's been very beneficial to me, and I really like him, and I have a lot of respect for him. So it's just he spends more time in my office than anybody, and I apologize to him, but I say, hey, Bobby, come, and I don't know if he likes it or not, but I do make him talk to me a lot.
Okay, we'll take one final question right in front here on the near aisle, third row. Colin.
Hey, Sam. Colin Wilson with the Action Network. Last year, you and I discussed the hire of Travis Williams, how aggressive he was from UCF, and you said not a lot of cover zero is going to be needed. It looks like 52 plays came in cover zero. But with this defensive line and how talented they are, is the plan to be even more aggressive with blitz, maybe even more cover zero than 52?
I had a question earlier today about, close games, tight games. Some of our discussion has been about our aggressiveness during the end of games defensively. I think Travis did a wonderful job for us last year. But I don't want to handcuff him either, So 52 of those plays, will it go up? Probably. But I do think we're a little bit better at corner and a little bit better in the safety spot to be able to cover zero, cover true man, that we can do that.
Coach Pittman, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. Go Hogs.